So, hello everybody. Welcome to another episode of not Mistaken Truths, what am I saying? Animals Decoded. So, this time, hey, Rob Bubadial, welcome. Let me know if the volume's okay, if y'all can hear me and everything's perfectly fine, because I'm doing screen capture, so y'all will be able to see my OBS and everything, and I don't want you guys to see that, because that's just mind fuckery, completely. Sylveon Zumbrion, welcome. So yeah, guys, I'm live streaming, for those that are doing it on that are seeing this on YouTube, hence the really long video length. Mads Meme, Adrian Thompson, James Amberry. Alright, so in this episode, we're going to go over one particular channel. One that is special, to say the least. Special. Hey, Turkey God, how you doing? Tyrant King. Jacob for the win. So yeah, normally I wouldn't just flat out call out channels, because that's normally seen as immature. However, this is a special case, because, to be honest, somebody needs to stand up to this guy. And what better way to do that than make an entire live stream dedicated to tearing through all his videos. But yeah, this guy, he's a top 10 channel, and although he does focus on other things, you'll see here, his main focus is animals, and primarily prehistoric creatures, but to make it more broad, animals. And he's gained a bit of reputation as being one of the dumbest channels possible. And it saddens me that this guy is so popular. Speaking of which, because the reason I bring this up is because I saw somebody in the comments bring it up in the chat, the stream feed. 60k subscribers and up to hundreds of thousands of views. Just, YouTube is one of the main outlets for people to learn stuff now. This guy is just plain misdirecting people. You'll see what I mean. I'm gonna go down to the bottom and go all the way up to the top. So yeah, let's start. So I'm not that big on the universe, so I'm not that much of an OE on that guy. So I'm just gonna skip this one. The seven deadliest dinosaurs that existed before dinosaurs. Let's see here. Okay, so this is the first one, and there's gonna be many in this stream. I'm gonna try to go through all of his videos that I think I could properly entail. So I'm just gonna turn off the soundtrack now. All right, let's see. Let's see. Dude, alright, before I start, I just want to bring up, I think the reason why this guy doesn't speak so well is because I don't think he's English. I don't think his first language is English. But, yeah, that doesn't excuse misinformation. But deadliest animals that existed before dinosaurs, okay. I get that I could get a little backlash for this, but I don't think anybody watches his videos are genuinely fans. They're either haters, or they're people that are just looking through that are just randomly surfing the web, and they end up coming across his videos. Because I guess his videos appeal to that YouTube algorithm. The same sort of algorithm that rewards those cringy kid YouTube videos and those cringy fidget spinner videos. You know the type. Thankfully, I've never been to that side of YouTube, really, but I know it exists. And even if he does have followers, just fight me. It's that simple. Just fight me. I really do not care. This just plain isn't right. And that's what I'm trying to get at here. It's not that I personally hate the guy. I'm sure he's a pretty fine dude. But his videos are just awful. And I'd rather end up with me getting a load of hate and ended up getting a little backlash. Then a ton of people just being misled. It's as simple as that. But yeah, let's see here.
The world, all the species we know, from insects to humans, we have all evolved from creatures we have never known.
Okay.
Even the dinosaurs evolved from many species we have never seen before. These species had to adapt in the best way
Triops.
to the extreme climate of the Earth in its beginnings. In this video, we will review the most lethal creatures which existed before.
Oh, by the way, one last thing. Guys, I swear to God, the best way you guys can possibly go against these types of videos is just plain not click on them. Do not view them. Do not watch them. Just forget they exist. That's the best thing you could do to protest against these channels. The absolute best. I'm doing this because not only is it giving the word out to all 2,000 to 3,000 people that are going to watch this, or potentially watch this, that's my sub count, but it also means that y'all are aware of his videos without actually needing to click on them, you know? So, yeah, that's another reason why I'm doing this.
The dinosaurs.
Cringy stock sound effects.
Number 7. In ancient times, Earth's atmosphere was saturated with oxygen. It had a much higher amount than today. This facilitated the evolution of insects and arthropods. They were huge and considered killers. This is where Brontosaurus appears.
Brontosaurus did not appear during the Carboniferous, when there was this giant influx of giant vegetation. It appeared during the Silurian, in the Bloody Ocean. It's a true scorpion, so he's got that right. But just it lived much further back in the Silurian. It was not a Carboniferous creature like this trying to depict. Pulmonoscorpius is the largest land scorpion, and it did live during this time, but not Brontoscorpia.
Giant water scorpion. It was a meter long, and its stinger was the size of a light bulb. He hunted fish and injected his poison into them, just as a scorpion does today. What made him so dangerous was his lungs, which made it easier to live both in the water and on land.
So he essentially just copied everything from Welcome to the Monsters. Brontoscorpio probably wouldn't even be a massive threat to us, because not only are scorpions, at least if we're trying to imagine the Welcome with Monsters Brontoscorpio, it isn't that quick on land. And unlike regular scorpions, that thing is too big to just skitter and hide around. So, they're pretty easy to see. So yeah, I don't know how the lungs make it particularly lethal.
Number 6. Labyrinthodontia.
So, Jurassic World the game? You for real, mate?
Near the water, right on the banks, prehistoric animals were not safe because there was a giant amphibian lurking there. The labyrinth. Consider a giant amphibian with a hunting technique similar to that of a crocodile, but 1,000 times bigger and with the ability to eat cows. It was about 3 meters in length and ate anyone who stopped to drink water on the banks. No.
Alright, that was just stupid. That was just stupid. Complete and utterly stupid. Labyrinthodontia doesn't even exist. That's a completely made up dinosaur from dinosaur. I'm putting that in parentheses. Not even parentheses, just quotations. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. That isn't even a real thing. That's just something made up. It's made to emphasize the general group known as labyrinthodonts, which are a really successful family of amphibians back in the day. Not so much anymore, but back then they were the main amphibians before things like salamanders, frogs, newts, toads came along. And I mean, yeah, crocodiles are over 3 meters, but most crocodiles alive today are about that size. Including salties and Niles, most are just around that size, although many do get bigger.
Number 5. Meganeura. Imagine...
This thing would probably be harmless if it was alive today. I mean, yeah, I probably wouldn't be around it. It's a dragonfly the size of an eagle, but it's still... Dragonflies today do bite, but I don't know, they still aren't a threat to people. They're more just murderers of insects.
A dragonfly. Currently, a dragonfly can grow up to 10 centimeters. But if we go back millions of years, these insects were voracious carnivores of up to 1 meter in length. They stalked from the heights, as an eagle does today. If it existed today, the Meganeura could eat a dog without a problem.
No. It would not. I'm sorry, but it depends on the size of a dog. If you're talking about a Chihuahua, yeah, maybe, but if you're talking about, like, the average dog, ones that are about 2 feet high and around 50 to 100 pounds, then yeah, absolutely not. It's a delicate bug. Most birds of that size, I mean, you know what, never mind, I'm not gonna say that, because eagles are strong birds, but come on now. It's a friggin' bug. A dragonfly, no less. Dragonflies are not designed to tackle giant, massive other bugs. They are meant to chase down smaller things, like flies and mosquitoes. They aren't meant to tackle big things like beetles or something like that. They're not. They're chasers. They aren't wrestlers. You know?
Number 4.
That was quick. Jesus.
Arthropleura. Like the brontoscorpio, the Arthropleura was a giant arthropod, but in this case, ancestor of the centipede. Its appearance was similar to...
I don't know if this is completely accurate, because, I don't know, everybody says that Arthropleura is actually a millipede, but I don't know if centipedes actually existed back then. I don't know. That's just something I personally don't know. The good thing about normal mistaken truths is that I can look up the things that I don't know in order to make sure that I'm correct before I say something. But in this case, I can't because it's a stream. So you guys can let me know down in the stream comments.
A centipede, but with a remarkable characteristic: its size. It was as long as a car, approximately 2 meters in length. Although a vegetarian, he had lethal fangs, prepared to strike at any threat.
Okay, and also about Arthur... You didn't miss much, Armin. You didn't miss much. Only about this much of the first video we're watching. So yeah, you didn't miss much. But yeah, it really depends, because I ended up learning from this from Adaphosaurus bucanias. I don't know how reliable he is, but he seems like the reliable type. So I'm just gonna roll with this. But supposedly, Arthropleura being vegetarian is not as... It's not as clear as we think it is. Because the supposed vegetarian, the plant spores in its gut, weren't really actually in its gut as a word. So odds are it probably was just put in there during fossilization. So, yeah.
Number 3. Dimetrodon. Dimetrodon was a kind of greedy giant carnivore.
Kind of what? Hold on, I gotta play that back.
Was a kind of greedy giant carnivore.
Greedy? That's a very odd word to describe such an animal.
Whose most notable features were the huge crest present on his back, and his teeth specialized to tear off the flesh of his victim. At 3 meters long, this predator was an insatiable animal. Experts say that 90% of their victims were eaten, almost leaving them just in bones.
So, just copied off of Walk with Monsters, which I have no idea how they figure out that statistic. They probably just made it up. With Walk with Monsters, they probably just made it up to add more immersion to the world. But in this case, you're passing it off as real information, which is not right.
Currently, lions eat 70% of their prey.
Yeah, see?
This gives us an idea
He's using the exact same
of
terms.
how voracious the Dimetrodons were. Although its appearance is similar to that of a dinosaur, Dimetrodon belongs to the family tree of mammals.
See, that's one thing I'll approve. He was actually correct there. He didn't necessarily call it a reptile-mammal blend. Although that's technically what they are, it's better off to just say that they're straight up more on the mammal lineage than they are on the reptile ones. So I approve. I approve of that at least.
Number 2. Hyneria.
Hyneria. It was not 5 meters, guys. It got around 8 meters. Oh, not 8 meters, the hell am I saying? 8 feet. Or 2.5 meters, around half the size. So no. The 5 meter long Hyneria from Walk With Monsters is bogus. I'll be talking about that when I make mistaken truths.
The sea has always been the home of gigantic and mysterious creatures, and the Hyneria was one of them.
Jesus. Pardon me that this is just too much, but this is a whale shark, yo. Why are you putting this up and saying that this is a Hyneria? And what's even more so is that Hyneria didn't even live in the ocean. It was a freshwater fish. So, I don't even know. I don't know if this is legal, but I honestly do not care.
An insatiable carnivore of 5 meters long and 3 tons of weight. Hyneria was the first super predator that populated and dominated the sea.
I don't know if this is legal, but if the Top 5 man wants to forcefully monetize this video, then by all means, I won't be mad at that. My message still gets across, even whether or not you're making money off the video, so, yeah.
What made it deadly was that he hunted not only in the depths of the ocean, but also on the shores, as an orca does when it hunts seals.
No evidence for this. At all. I mean, it's not technically inaccurate, but there's definitely no evidence for this.
The Hyneria was a lethal predator, for his strong fins allowed him to walk a few inches on the shore. Number 1. Therocephalian. The Therocephalian was a deadly animal, not based on their power, but on the way to hunt by surprise and stalk their victims. With an approximate size of 3 meters in length, the Therocephalian possessed an infallible bite, not because of its strength, but because when it bit its victim, it injected a powerful poison, stronger than...
Yeah, first of all, Therocephalia does not exist. It simply does not. This guy's thinking of Therocephalian, which is a family of stem mammals, which involve the species used in Walk With Monsters, which is Euchimbersia, I think it's called. And yes, Euchimbersia actually does have evidence for venom. I believe it's the only non-typical prehistoric animal we actually have evidence for having venom. And yeah, he's just straight up copying Walk With Monsters here. Like, yeah.
that of the black mammal.
And yeah, only it was venomous. Only Euchimbersia was venomous. None of the other Therocephalians have evidence for venom at all.
Once he bit his prey, the Therocephalian just had to wait. Zero Zone.
What?
Garganop.
That's unique. I've never seen someone put a 0 in their sentence. The Maximilian. Gigas. I mean, or Gygus, maybe. I don't know. I'm sorry. I know that you constantly... I end up mispronouncing your name a lot, bud, and I'm sorry. But, yeah, sorry. But, yeah, Gorgonopsid, which is an entire family of stem mammals. It's not just a single species like this guy is going to act like it is.
The Gorgonopsians are considered to
or Gorgonopsian, as he's calling it. Gorgonopsian, Gorgonopsid, same thing.
be the first saber teeth of the history. But
that is
unlike
true.
the creature we previously mentioned, the Gorgonopsians were enormous.
No Gorgonopsian got up to 5 meters. The largest was Enostrandversia or something like that. Even I can't pronounce that name. It's a very large Gorgonopsid from Russia, and it got up to about 3 to 4 meters. And if you consider it just as scaling compared to modern animals, it was just about the size of a tiger, a little bit bigger than a tiger. So, yeah, he's making them out to be rhino-sized behemoths in this, but that's not really the case.
They were about 5 meters in length. They were armed with large tusks up to 12 centimeters. Fast, corpulent, and with a lethal bite. The Gorgonopsians.
I know this guy's first language isn't English, so I understand his like method of talking, but lethal? It's lethal, man.
Was the greatest predator until the appearance of the dinosaurs.
Alright, that's the first video done, guys. So, let's see. Let me head back. There's even worse videos out there, but we're starting in chronological order there. So, scariest deep sea creatures. So I'm assuming we're going to get into modern times here. So, let's see.
I got you.
There we go.
There is a place where the world's most strange creatures are living. This place is the sea. Next, let's take a look at the top 10 most mysterious creatures living at the bottom of the sea. Number 10. This creature is a specimen that maintains itself in a larval stage even when they reach adulthood. They are known as the axolotl.
Yeah, I facepalmed. Sorry for giving me the spook kitty. I'm sorry. Yeah, there's a cat on my lap now, so forgive me. But axolotls are freshwater amphibians. They aren't deep sea. They don't live in the sea. They live in lakes in Mexico. They are not deep sea creatures. I can't. My throat actually hurts so much because of how, like, triggered I am, but yeah, this is too much. This is stupid. Yeah.
The axolotl.
Sorry for downright just insulting this guy, but I'm not insulting this man himself. I'm insulting this video, because whether or not I like this guy, this video is terrible. I'm sorry, this video has been done horribly. I can't.
Is an amphibian that could be considered lovely. Scientists consider it as a non-metamorphosed larva of the Mexican salamander. The most...
See, it even has in its name, Mexican salamander. And guess what? There's pretty much no amphibians in the ocean. At all. At all. There are a couple, but most of them are not.
Most curious characteristic of the axolotl is the ability to regenerate limbs. They can regenerate most of his body, not just the limbs or tail, but also lungs, kidneys, heart, and other organs.
That is true.
Number 9.
At least I think it is.
When talking about mysterious creatures of the deep sea, we should not miss one that looks like an UFO. This creature is known as the Atoll jellyfish.
I never heard of this thing.
Like most jellyfish, it lacks respiratory, circulatory, digestive, or central nervous systems. Its habitat is mainly found in the Atlantic Ocean at depths of up to 1,000 meters.
Okay, that was simple. Nothing wrong about that.
Batfish. The red-lipped batfish is a creature which lives
Yeah, this thing is blimmin' derpy. It just weirds me out looking at it.
around 2,000 and 3,000 meters deep. Its size is minimal, since they reach up to 40 centimeters in length. The most remarkable characteristic of this species are the bright red-colored lips, which curvature on the sides downwards gives it an aspect of permanent annoyance. Number 7. The next creature in the list is known as the heaviest known bony fish in the
Oh
world.
god, they're ridiculous. They're ridiculous. Calling it now, they're ridiculous.
It is the ocean sun.
Yep, they're ridiculous right here. And yeah, this thing is just stupid. If I was capable of right now, I would give all you guys the IMGR rant about the sunfish, because it pretty much sums up this thing, because this thing is ridiculous. It is so ridiculous. Hence me calling it the ridiculous. I ended up getting that from another YouTuber that I watched, but yeah, I like calling this thing the ridiculous, because that's exactly what its existence is.
Fish. These huge fish in maturity.
Hold on. I think I got an idea. Hold on, let me see. Hold on. Armin, send it through Discord, because I know you guys can't send links, but I can. So if you want to send me the link, Armin, through Discord, I'll put it in the chat right now. And I just realized that I completely forgot to put aware you guys in the stream chat on Discord. My bad, guys. My bad. Oh wait, no, I could do that right now, actually. Hold on. I'm such an idiot. Let's see. Currently streaming Animals Decoded. Be happy to join. Sorry for late announcement. Okay. If that first at here wasn't enough. But yeah, let me just copy link text, pass it over, and there we go. Have fun reading that. But yeah.
It can reach lengths up to 3 meters and weight up to 2 tons. Its main body is flattened laterally. Sunfish can be as tall as they are long when their dorsal and ventral fins are extended. Although its usual habitat is more superficial, this is a mysterious fish worth mentioning. Number 6. Maris orthocana. The
Never heard of
Maris
this.
orthocana is a creature that could be considered as one of the strangest on the planet. Even though it looks like a single individual, this animal is a colony composed of a number of organisms linked together by a
siphonophores.
long stem. The depth at which this creature has been observed is about 2,000 meters. Number 5. Lobster with terrible claws. The terrible claw lobster, discovered in 2007. In order to classify this new species, it was placed in the separate genus due to its unusual features. I think I
heard of this guy, but I never really looked too much into him. So, yeah.
Is the elongated
link doesn't work. Fucking come on, man. It is an exact link, so it should work. If not, then there's nothing I can do. Sorry, guys.
Tooth claw located on the right front leg.
Right front leg? It's called an arm, dude. It's called an arm.
Laphiforms. These strange and unattractive fish are among the most curious residents in the depths of the sea. They can grow up to 2 meters long and weigh 30 kilograms.
I'm assuming these Laphiforms, or whatever the heck he's called. Yeah, that's exactly what I did, Armin. That's exactly what I did. Hold on, I'll get the exact link now. I'll get the exact link now. I'll click on that, copy, and actually paste. I'm assuming Laphiforms mean just the general anglerfish family, which is a massive group. Oh, okay, not me. Alright, Armin. My apologies. But yeah, this one right here is called Fanfin. I specifically remember it from Endless Ocean. Remember finding one of these guys. These guys were pretty hard to actually like get information on because they relied fancy colors, and I didn't know that. So it's like this guy and the pelican eel. They were a nightmare.
This fish present a singular body, the greater part of...
Oh, okay, that makes sense. So, as Adrian said, Lithoforms includes all anglerfish, frogfish, and anything else of that nature. So, yeah.
Which is the huge head. The other part of the body is like an appendix. The most significant physical feature, without any doubt, is the presence of a luminescent fishing rod used as a lure to attract its prey. Number 3. Sharks are already frightening creatures, but think about one that has been on Earth for almost 80 million years. People rarely see these sharks in the open sea, but certainly they are still living in the oceans. This is the frilled shark. Frilled sharks have 300 teeth arranged in 25 rows, which constitute one of the most terrifying mouths ever seen. A single frilled shark discovered measured around 1.5 meters long. They usually live in deep seas where few people venture to go. Therefore, they have not been studied too much in their natural habitat. Number 2.
Okay, nothing wrong with that.
The next specimen on this list is one of the most scary sea monsters. It is known as Cholodius. This creature has a length ranging from 30...
So, dragonfish? Or is this guy just being needlessly scientific in order to sound smarter? Because that's what this sounds like.
to 60 centimeters. Its large eyes...
Wait a minute.
Its large... Cholodius.
How big is this guy?
This creature has a length ranging from 30 to 60 centimeters.
Okay, centimeters. I was about to say 6 to 7 meters. That's what I heard, and I was about to say no, that's way too big.
Its
But yeah.
large eyes allow them to receive as much light as possible because they live in total darkness.
It looks like a dragonfish to me, or a
Number
viperfish. Number
The
1.
next creature was once voted as the worst, ugliest animal.
Oh, the frogfish. No, not the frogfish,
This
the
is
blobfish. There we go.
blobfish. These animals currently live on the seafloor in depths between 600 and 1200 meters, where
Yeah, this is what they look. This is what they normally look like. They look a lot more like normal fish when they're down deep sea. However, when they head out to the surface, because their bodies are so used to being under that kind of pressure, when that pressure is relieved, it causes them to expand, and as a result, they become this blobby, malformed looking thing.
the pressure is several times greater than the existing pressure on the sea surface. However, they can survive deep in the ocean because their gelatinous body has a density which is less than that of the sea. While its appearance is terrifying, this fish only takes this look when taken out of the water, but when living in its natural habitat, it's like an ordinary fish.
Oh, alright, he
Zero
brought that up.
Zone. The next creature we're about to see seems like taken out from another world. However, it lives in the seas of our planet. They are well adapted to live in a deep sea habitat.
Goblin shark,
and therefore,
giant
only a
squid.
few specimens have been seen or collected alive. Where they currently live in, they don't receive any light. This creature is the goblin shark.
A goblin
The
shark,
goblin
right?
shark is considered a rare species in its class. It has a distinctively long and flat snout in the form of a sword blade. Its eyes are very small and has numerous front teeth which are long, pointy, and narrow. Even though this specimen is not in danger of extinction, it is a very scarce shark.
A what? Scarce? Scarce, dude. Scarce. I'm not gonna insult you on that, bud, but yeah. Still. Alright, moving on. Which one was that? Top 10 scariest deep sea creatures. I'm not sure how a lot of those are scary, but whatever. Oh, top 10 mythological creatures. Okay, we're getting into cryptozoology now.
25 million years ago.
Hey, Frostbite. How you doing? So, cryptozoology
Think
next.
about all those mythological creatures. Remember when sometimes you heard of them in some stories?
Okay, mythological creatures, so it doesn't necessarily have to be cryptids, but they'll probably be included on here as well.
All those creatures really existed and happened to be hidden somewhere in this huge planet. Next, I'm going to show you those.
Most supposed cryptids that exist on this planet simply do not exist. As simple as that.
Mythological creatures which have been caught on tape. Myth or truth, these videos will leave you thinking.
Leave you thinking? I'm not gonna insult this guy again, but the way he words things on a lot of occasions is really funny.
Number 7. Unicorn sighting.
What?
We all know the
Who genuinely believes in unicorns? That's my thing, because they're as mythological as dragons in that sense, because this horn, I believe, there's a couple of explanations for how the unicorn myth began. Some think that it was narwhal tusks that were brought down from the Arctic, and then there were others who think that it possibly derives from the horns of some African oryx. But essentially the same thing goes. This guy gets these horns from some other type of animal and sold them during ancient times as unicorn horns in order to make a quick profit. And that's essentially how the legend of unicorns began. They're nothing more than legends. They don't actually exist.
This horse-like magical creature, but with a clear difference.
The only real unicorns are narwhals and rhinos. Those are the only real unicorns.
Its horn. In the next video, you will see one of the most realistic recordings ever made of a unicorn. Here's the
speeds. Let's see. Am I meant to see? God damn, that's a shaky camera. Alright, you know what bothers me about this video? First off, that camera is unnecessarily shaky. The hell is making this guy shake so much? It's just a bloody unicorn. It's not like a Bigfoot or something that could attack you. It's just a horse chilling out in the field. What is there to be spooked about? Is there hurricane-style winds coming through? What's shaking you so much? There's no excuse for that. I can get maybe a little bit of shake, but that seems like it was shaking so much to be deliberately terrible. For you to deliberately not point out detail. There's also the fact that it's just, this could easily be something else. Like, first of all, somebody could have just attached something to a horse to make it look like a unicorn, or the things had really long pointed up ears, I mean, which isn't really common among horses, I think, but it's certainly possible. And given how we don't actually see the horn, we just see a long appendage coming from the head which looks like a horn, then I'd be more willing to believe that exists. That's the explanation.
Recording showing bone remains of an elf. This next video shows the remains of a very small creature. Its skull, spine, its femur, and all those parts.
This one is probably just a hoax. It's as simple as that. I'm not going to go over why, because I don't think I'd really need to explain why. I mean, yeah, I get horses aren't always nice, but this guy is, like, on another hill, a good deal away. That doesn't warrant aggression. So, yeah. In terms of this video, I probably don't need to explain why, but it's probably just plain hoax.
Typical to a human being are present, but in a miniature size. Seeing this video, you might ask yourself if elves ever exist.
That looks more like a leprechaun, just with the color graded than like an actual elf or goblin or whatever.
True or false? Who knows? You have the final answer. Watch this video.
Oh. It looks fake to me. It looks just plain fake to me. Okay, do put up a ruler in centimeters. Or millimeters. God, that's a small thing. Actually, is it I've always had a problem with rulers. Whatever.
Number 5. Chupacabra sightings.
Oh, this one.
The chupacabra is a legendary creature of Latin American folklore. It takes this name due to the habit, as it is said, of drinking the blood of other animals, particularly goats. This next video shows what the chupacabra might possibly be: an animal with a long snout, short front legs, and long hind legs. Check out this video and judge for yourself.
Alright, so this one has been pretty much solved by most people, but I'll explain once this thing is over. It's okay. Sorry, I'm cradling my kitty right now.
4.
But yeah, that's not, I don't think that's even what it is. It's just like those chupacabras, those I call them mainland chupacabras, not the Puerto Rican chupacabra, but the mainland chupacabras, they're just coyotes and dogs with mange, which is a disease that affects a lot of stray and wild animals, and it involves a loss of fur and deformation of the skin, and as a result this makes them look different, and it does spook people, but it's certainly not a chupacabra. It's just an ordinary dog or coyote.
Mermaid sightings.
Mermaids?
The mermaids
Really?
have been mentioned in numerous stories and movies around the years and throughout all the history. We all have some kind of knowledge of how a mermaid can be, but far from fictional, a mermaid could not be as nice as we have been told they are. Watch this video and just tell me, what do you see?
I understand this. Look. This is the... Did this guy not do any research? Like, I can't accept this. This is blatant clickbait at this point, because he has the name of the documentary this was from. The fake documentary, might I add. The fake documentary at the start of the video. Like, I don't even need to explain it. I don't even need to explain it. It shows it right here. Like, hello? Sorry if it sounds like I'm talking away from the mic, because I got my mic on one side and the comments on the other. So, yeah, let me see. I don't think it was that bad, these mockumentaries, but yeah, don't believe this stuff. Don't make this. I think the mermaid one is kind of okay, because most people genuinely didn't think it was fake. The Megalodon one most people weren't really fooled by this, but the Megalodon one, that really didn't help the case for those people who genuinely think Megalodon is alive. It really didn't help. This is a completely made-up video for that fake documentary. It's nothing special. Nothing real happened here. It's just completely fake. The first one about dragons I personally loved. I thought it was real at the time, but I wised up.
3.
But I still loved it, regardless.
Loch Ness Monster sightings. But you're going
I don't really need to talk about this one. Trey the Explain already did this. Just saying.
to see goes against any logic you may have so far about life. This next video shows a huge creature floating near a boat. Most people testify that this video is undoubtedly the strongest evidence of the existence of the Loch Ness Monster. Here is the video.
Alright, let's see this video. Yeah, shaky ass camera. That could literally be anything. Like, there's absolutely no evidence for any supposed Loch Ness monster.
Number 2. The sighting of an albino Bigfoot.
I think it could literally just be like a seal or something like that. That seems highly likely to me.
The following video was taken
But
in
yeah.
Pennsylvania. Residents of a particular
Yo, if y'all somehow get train here, that would be lit. Completely.
zone had been reporting strange noises during the night. Concerned about such unbearable noises, a resident in the area, full of courage, went out to investigate by himself. This is what he actually saw. Truth or false? You're the judge. Here is the video.
Bit of a warning, I think this one's a bit spooky. Yeah, I don't like these kinds of videos. They spook me. What's going on here? I'm just gonna brace myself for a jump scare of some form. I don't like this. I hear the breathing, I don't like this. Oh. I test myself all up for nothing. That's so fake. Come on now.
Ever since we're young, we've heard
And
about
fairies are known to be completely fake. Who the hell believes in fairies?
fairy tales. You know they are beautiful creatures, or at least so they say. In this video, you can see a fairy, but I'm afraid it might not be as nice as those in the movies. Watch the video and judge by yourself.
Wait a minute, what even? I can't even tell what that is. Oh. Oh my god, that's so fake. That is so fake. Jesus. It looks like somebody took something like a dragonfly or a wasp and just, like, modified it with CGI to become a fairy of some form. Because that is ridiculously fake. Jesus. It's Cosmo. Yeah, when Cosmo and Wanda, when the Fairy Godparents show went to hell, they decided to live off into the woods. And they're now the grouchy old fairy couple.
Dragon sighting.
Chasing people off their property and shit.
The dragon may be one of the most popular and mentioned creatures in all the existing fairy tales. There are hundreds of documents making reference about the possibility that such creatures actually may have been real.
Dragons are not real. They are just fantastical creatures that were inspired by many different sources. Those people think that a good portion of it was potentially dinosaur bones. And then there's also just like a mix of different animals. I know for a fact that the people that lived on Komodo genuinely refer to them as dragons. And there's also I believe a theory going around that one of the biggest reasons for why dragons as a whole exist is because of people's fear of snakes. Because they don't want people going out there and ended up getting bitten by a snake, because that's just plain dangerous. And they make up tales of giant dragons in order to make people stay within the confines of the village, or wherever the heck they lived. But, yeah.
In the following video, you will see the image of a purple dragon.
Hey, Dinosaur Dolan.
Lies or reality? This video has been watched all around the world.
That is possible. What is this? Is this from Dragons of Fantasy? It is. At least I think it is. Wait, no. There's a couple more eggs than I actually realized. Let me see. Let me watch for a bit. Let's see. Yeah, that's an egg. It's an egg, all right. There's gonna be a jump scare, isn't there? Wait, what? I'm confused. Okay, there's some random eggs in a cave. What are you trying to prove here? How does everybody have a shitty camera in these types of situations? If I'm gonna record something, I want it to be as good as possible. Even if that means I can't move around as much. What even does that tell? Oh, that's so fake. Jesus. That is such blatant CGI. I can't even. Yeah. Well, out of there. That's one out of the way. What about... Let's see. I'm gonna ignore the plants one. He didn't even spell unknown properly. Let's see here. Oh god, it's been an hour.
For a very long time,
a
monsters and creatures
new
from beyond have terrified
person.
us. Most of these creatures have their origins in mythological tales or ancient stories. However, not all of this is pure imagination.
Piranhaconda.
Some of these frightful monsters are based in real-life beings. In fact, they have been seen in real encounters. Next, let's take a trip to
Blatant
these
CGI.
dark and unknown beasts most people claim to exist with us in this planet. Number 5. The Yakumama,
The
hidden
what?
in the jungle. This gigantic snake is very similar to the anaconda, but of a much larger size. It is believed that it can reach up to 50 meters long.
That's just ridiculous.
Its head up to
You think something like that could hide in the rainforest? First of all, I don't think a snake that big can even live properly on land. In order for... The biggest snakes today, the heaviest ones anyway, like the anaconda, they're primarily aquatic. They don't go on land that much. So, a 50-meter long snake, first of all, not even the... I mean, the blue whale is probably more in terms of mass, but even then, it'd hell a struggle. And second, my problem here, so this is the Amazon we're talking about here. With the exception of a few select places, no river can house a snake that big. No river can house a snake that big. I'm sorry. If there was a snake that big out there, we would have found it by now.
2 meters wide. According to the beliefs of the Amazon indigenous people, this giant snake hides in the mouth of the Amazon River and also in the nearby lagoons, living...
You'd figure we'd be able to find it right now if it lives in such a restricted area. 50 meters. That's a mile-long snake. That is literally a mile-long snake.
always in the water.
Oh wait, no. Is it a mile long? No, I'm thinking ridiculous. But it's stupid. Okay, apparently the Yakumama is a Peruvian legend. Yeah, the Photoshop is ridiculous.
Because of all these existing sighting stories, brothers Mike and Greg Warner prepared an expedition in the Amazon jungle, trying to get evidence of these monstrous creatures. They made an impressive discovery. They found gigantic downed trees and a path with the figure of a large snake that could be seen in the jungle.
You'd figure if the trail of a snake could be seen from an airplane, that just flying around the Amazon for a little bit would eventually make you find that giant snake. Like, it's not too hard, people. My god.
Hundreds of local Indians claim to have seen this majestic snake and describe it as the snake that takes the water with it. Number 4.
That was random. That was like, I forgot what they're called. I think they're called Sicilians? No. I think that's what they're called. They're something like that. Something like that. And they're a type of snake-like amphibian that most of them only get up to like a foot long. So, I don't know why the heck he put that up there.
Mokele Mbembe.
Oh, Mokele
Also
Mbembe.
known as the one that can stop the river. Dinosaurs no longer exist on the planet since millions of years ago.
I mean, technically they do, because birds, but not avian dinosaurs as we know them, yeah, they're completely gone.
Yet, on the western curve of Africa, in the republics of Congo and Cameroon, the inhabitants of these lands continue to speak of a quadruped creature very much like the Brontosaurus. When someone shows these people a drawing exhibiting the figure of a Brontosaurus, they immediately respond that it is undoubtedly a Moko Mbembe. Most sightings have taken place in the Congo River Basin. This river forms a complex system with great extensions of marshes, streams, estuaries, and several lakes that flow into this river. There is not much scientific knowledge about this area because it has not been fully explored. Because of this, there are many possibilities that scientists might discover some unknown animal living along.
I don't think I really need to explain why dinosaurs being alive today is stupid. It's just stupid. If you want me to go in depth in the comments, I'll be happy to, but no, it's dumb.
Along these lands. However, more serious investigations suggest that it could be a rhinoceros, or it could also be confusion. Number 3. The next creature on the list is the terror of all those who venture to travel through the snowy mountains.
Yeti?
This creature is known worldwide as the abominable snowman.
Or Yeti.
Over the years, there have been many sightings of this creature, and for this reason, it is very likely that he really inhabits the earth.
Nope. Just saying. I mean, it is definitely possible. Compared to most of the other guys in this list, this guy is probably the most plausible out there. But still, I think it's a bit dumb because, well, one of the main points of evidence behind the Yeti existing is the noise that makes. Because they'll often hear howls coming up from the Himalayas, and they'll think that it's a Yeti. However, little do they know that that is actually snow leopards. That's a noise that they do make in order to communicate with each other over long distances. They make this long, deep bellow sort of call that echoes for very long distances because they're high up, very high up in the mountains. And that's what people often mistake for Yeti calls, in a sense.
Myth around this creature grew even bigger soon after a team of scientists, whose leader was the Japanese Yoshitaro Takashi, found a footprint of 45 centimeters in length and are allegedly of the abominable snowman. Although there is no definitive evidence that this primate really exists, the multiple sightings that occur over the years make us think otherwise.
Oh look, flashback.
Number 2.
Alright, here we go. What next you got?
Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster.
Okay, Loch Ness Monster.
Many myths and stories have been told over the centuries about this alleged...
Once again, just tell of... Just listen to Trey the Explainer about this. He's got it covered.
...monster living in the waters of Loch Ness in Scotland. For more than 1,500 years, there have been reports of sightings of Nessie, as it is affectionately known. In more recent times, some witnesses have delivered photographic evidence of the monster. However, further investigations determined that such materials were false.
Yeah. Most actual photos are just fakes.
It was speculated that Nessie was a dinosaur that somehow survived extinction. Whether myth or reality, the truth is that today this monster has a very special importance in the economy of the region. Hence
why it's important to keep the myth alive. That's a perfectly valid reason.
Tour operators, hotel chains, souvenir merchants live on the publicity surrounding this legend.
And regardless of if it's actually
Number
fake, they
1,
want to keep it alive.
Mermaids. There
Oh,
have been
mermaids.
many reports and stories throughout the years about the existence of mermaids, aquatic creatures that are supposed to protect great treasures or lost
Oh look,
civilizations.
another shot from that
Many
documentary.
people claim to have
That
witnessed
fake
mermaids
documentary.
along centuries. An example of this was Christopher Columbus, who reported he saw 3 mermaids in 1493 in what is today the Dominican Republic.
I know an old theory about why mermaids exist. I think it's more likely that somebody just came up with them and it was attractive enough to where it's spread around, but there is a possibility that it was actually manatees. And Christopher Columbus spotting them would support this. Manatees do live around the Caribbean region, so it is possible.
During a controversial documentary presented at Animal Planet called Mermaids, the Body Found.
Hold on.
Some Animal Planet called who reported in 1493 in what is today the Dominican Republic. During a controversial documentary presented at Animal Planet called Mermaids, the Body Found.
Yeah, completely fake.
Several scientists claim to have recovered evidence to prove the existence of mermaids.
Completely fake.
But it seems like the powerful interests in the shadows have managed to hide such evidence. There are many sightings and witness reports, and this makes this mystery still valid and unresolved. Therefore, the possibility that mermaids exist is kept open.
Same with completely
Number
fake.
0. The Monkey Man of India. It's a
This is
monster
new.
which was reported wandering in
I never heard of this guy.
India in mid-2001. Dozens of people were hospitalized with fractures and serious injuries due to the attacks of a mysterious creature called the Monkey Man. Beginning in April 2001, the India Times reported that a naughty monkey, or masked man, was causing hundreds of victims, generating panic in the Ghaziabad district of India. There is a report from a doctor who provided a description of this monkey man. He said, "He jumps like a monkey, and I estimate his feet is 5 feet. His face was like a monkey. It was like a black shadow, and his eyes were red lights." The Monkey Man was seen by hundreds or thousands of witnesses. For months, the Monkey Man moved in an area of 200 square miles. Today, it is still said that the Monkey Man continues to move in the fields and other areas of India.
It's most likely just some criminal who's decided to like have fun with hurting and killing people. That's just what it sounds like. It doesn't seem like an actual wild animal. It just seems more like a person. But yeah, I think that's this video done. Top 10 5 animals that inhabited the earth. Let's see. Oh Christ, I can't wait to get to these. I can't wait to get to those. Top 5 real megalodons caught on tape. So this is just... We're getting to the good stuff now.
Super easy way to tell that your bed is awful. The raw egg test. Let me prove it.
The Megalodon. This predator was a giant shark which lived millions of years ago. This creature had a monstrous physical appearance with teeth as big as the size of a small dog. Even though the scientists...
That's the stupidest line I've heard so far. Its teeth are not the size of a small dog, bruh. Maybe a puppy, but come on now. That's ridiculous. That is completely, utterly ridiculous.
The scientific community claims the Megalodon was extinguished. There are people who mention the contrary, and
AKA Great White. This is a Great White shark cage dive.
they allege to have seen them, and also to have recorded evidence to demonstrate the monster is still alive.
That's just
During
fake.
this video, we were going to show you a review of 5 of the most real recordings of a megalodon. Number 5. In this first video we are going to show, you can notice clearly what for many is undoubtedly the figure of a megalodon,
Or
moving
just a
freely
shark.
in the ocean.
Hello?
However, many scientists believe it is simply a shark, but for other observers, this video is the strong evidence that the megalodon still exists among us. Let's take a look and tell me what your opinion is.
Alright, come on. We can't hear you, dude. So can you speed up the talking? That's just a dead great white. Alright, I know what this thing is. I know what this thing is. This is what we call a basking shark. Basking sharks, they're often attributed to megalodon sightings because, for one, when they got their mouths closed, they got the exact same general great white shark shape. It's very hard to tell, unless you look closely, whether or not... Like, when it's got its mouth closed, the body shapes are really similar, because they're both mackerel sharks. That's just how it goes. But... This is the reason why basking sharks are often attributed to megalodon sightings, because people just think that a megalodon is just an oversized great white, which is bogus, by the way. But many people think it's just an oversized great white, and when basking sharks put their mouths closed and they look up and they look down, and when people look down from above, they see a giant great white looking shark, so they just instantly think megalodon. But yeah.
Number 4. The video was recorded during rescue exercises led by the Brazilian Coast Guard,
how you doing?
Preparing for future missions.
Alright, this one, Bill's channel did an entire video on this thing, and it turned out to just be fake. It's from that Megalodon mockumentary.
Unexpectedly, something crosses their way. Let's take a look at the video, and you can draw your own conclusions.
It's completely fake. It was made for the mockumentary like the mermaid pictures were. Or videos were.
Number 3. The following video was taken...
Alright, this one I'm just playing on a skip, because I already did this in another episode. So I'm just going to skip this one.
Number 2. The recording you will see next was made during an underwater expedition in one of the Hawaiian Islands. Here, you can identify either a strange species of shark or new evidence that the megalodon is still...
I saw the original video that this was from. They blatantly said this was a blunt-nosed six-gill. It is a blunt-nosed six-gill shark, this guy. It just... You know what, guys? I got an idea. Do you guys want to briefly cut the cancer and just have a quick commercial break where we watch a very, very actual good video about six-gill sharks? Do you guys want that? Okay. It'll give me a moment to breathe. Take a break while you guys enjoy something. Zorak, buddy, I hope you don't mind, but your video's really good. If I can find it. Orbital grouse. Here we go. Alright, so I'm going to turn off my mic, and you guys can enjoy this video.
Holy crap! Oh my god!
It's coming right at the ROS camera.
Oh my god, it's huge!
That's what we saw is the...
There goes the bait. It was the lasers bouncing off of his body.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Oh, the bait's... Oh no, the bait's over... He pushed the sub away. Or he took the bait away.
So he has all the bait?
No, the bait is to the right. Here he comes again. Here he comes.
Got it. Yeah.
Can you get him on?
Oh, whoa. His gill slits are probably 20 centimeters long. This guy's got a meter-wide head.
Look how thick he is.
He's huge. What do you think, Max, on size? 10, 12 feet?
That one is much bigger than the one we saw first.
Oh, yeah. Whoa. Whoa.
Hexancus is a genus comprising two sharks, the blunt-nosed six-gill shark and the big-eyed six-gill shark, hereafter called the quiet six-gill shark. You may be wondering why they're called six-gill sharks. Of course, you may also not be, because it's painfully obvious. While not terribly uncommon in shallow waters, Hexancus both normally live greater than 90 meters down. Pretty neat, not that special. So we found one swimming around being awfully six-gilly at 1,875 meters. That's really deep. That's like 6,000 feet plus deep, so right there. They're large sharks, the blunt nose growing more than 18 feet in length. They're not picky eaters either. They'll test whatever they find for food. Hagfish, salmon, dead things, electrical cable. Hexancus don't care. They're also found, well, everywhere. They've been found off of Florida, off of California, in the fjords of Norway, off of Australia, everywhere. The six-gill sharks are ancient, too. Like, really ancient. We found fossils almost identical to Hexancus from the Triassic period. They look more like ancient sharks than most sharks people are commonly familiar with. Basically what I'm saying is there's a primeval, 20-ish foot voracious badass shark probably nearby you right now at this time. Even if you live like in Iowa, right now, holy shit. There's one right near you. That's crazy. I mean, the only thing more powerful than a six-gill shark would be like a seven-gill shark or something. And that's just... my god.
Back. Alright, was that a pretty good cancer break? Was it? Alright, so y'all hear me, right? I don't need to go and check the settings again? Okay. I hope the people from Orbital Grouse don't really mind that I used their video, but I really needed this. I really needed this. We all needed this. So, yeah. Alright, let's move on.
Still living with us.
Yeah, he says it right here, Hexancus. That's the scientific name for six-gill sharks. I'm just gonna skip it, because we already saw the entire video.
Video allows to appreciate a megalodon and is one of the most accurate and real sightings shown so far. A group of Australian divers were filming some white sharks, and
oh, I've seen this one before.
They found themselves filming a megalodon.
I've seen this video before. It's painfully fake, laughably fake.
Let's see the recording, and you can think for yourself.
Like, look at that. That's painfully fake. That was painfully
Number
fake.
0. In this last video, I can assure you, you will not believe it. It's a shocking recording.
Oh yeah, I will not believe it.
You can see the exact moment of the fierce shark attack of a megalodon to a whale. Let's go see it.
That was painful CGI. Might I also add that this is probably from the Megalodon documentary from before. So yeah. Christ, it's so bad. Alright, I think I'm just going to leave the rest of the video here, because it's just repeating what we've seen before, and I already disproved it, so yeah. Let's move on to, let's see here. 5 scariest facts about, I'm just going to skip the general facts one, because at the end of the day, I don't want to completely disgrace his channel, as well as just, that's just out of, like, a respect thing, okay? You don't really do that. You don't post all of his videos onto a single one. You don't just do that. But here, let's see. Top 5 Megalodon greatest rivals. This one ought to be good.
I didn't get a present for everybody.
Groupon.
The Megalodon, the 20 meters long Titanic shark, was the king for the whole Miocene period, 66 million years ago. It is
Not 66 million years ago, bruh. Megalodon evolved around 15 million years ago, and stayed on Earth until about 3 or 2 million years ago. It did not. That's not the Miocene period. 66 million years ago was the Cretaceous, the very end of it. Meanwhile, Miocene was about 20 million years ago. That's when it first started. Yeah, terrible. And, oh yeah, 20 meter long Megalodon. That's a bit too big for a Megalodon. The biggest one's got 18 meters, and even then, that's like the biggest individuals. Most got about 15.
It's hard to believe that this gigantic predator had any kind of rival during its existence. However, there were many animals
Stupid
that wanted
pictures.
to banish the Megalodon. This is why I bring you the Megalodon 5 greatest rivals. Number 5. The Cetotherium.
Yeah, I remember finding this video before I knew the guy even existed. This one is just terrible. Just Cetotherium. It's like a 15-foot long baleen whale. How on earth does that even contest to Megalodon? Megalodon probably just ate these things on a regular basis. This isn't a rival of any sort. It's so stupid.
The Cetotherium was one of the humpback whale's ancestors, with 12 meters long. It was one of the biggest prehistoric marine mammals at that time, despite the fact that it could be a megalodon's prey. Thanks to the Cetotherium size, it could easily escape from it. However, it was common for the megalodon to hunt this great whale because it wasn't so much trouble, thanks to the Cetotherium lacking teeth. This is what made the Cetotherium an easy prey for the king of the seas.
So why is this guy a rival again? Because he pretty much said what I was saying. How does this make him a rival of any sort? Not gonna say it, huh?
Number 4.
Okay. Fair enough.
The Albicetus. Here we
I never heard of this guy.
Cachalot ancestors. The Albicetus, even though it was smaller.
You know what, guys? I think I'm gonna skip a lot here. Because, still. You know what? No, I'm not gonna.
It was a predator, and thanks to its fighting design and its sharp tooth set, they meant a real challenge to the Megalodon.
That was it?
Number
Okay.
3.
God, that was a short segment.
The Brachmophyseter. The
Brachmophyseter.
is an even bigger and aggressive
Brachmophyseter,
version
I
of
think.
the
I don't know.
Albicetus. They say that this is the actual Grampus or killer whale's ancestor. Also,
No. They're completely different ancestor, dude. Sperm whales are entirely different lineage from dolphins. For real.
bitter cachalot because they have sharp teeth in both jaws. Furthermore, the Brachmophyseter could reach 12 meters long, which can
No. Brachmophyseter, I believe, only got to around... I don't know how big it is actually, but I believe 8 to 9 meters is the general consensus, not 12 as he's trying to say here. That's a bit too big.
with its hostility and its tooth set, it became a difficult and even dangerous prey.
Little Pliosaur, I specifically said not to go to this guy's videos. Because I'm just going to repeat it again, because we're about 90 minutes to the stream. If you want these videos to not exist, the best thing you could do is to not give them your views. It's as simple as that. I'm doing this because it gets the word out to so many other people that it negates the damage that I'm doing. So, yeah. This is terrible. And honestly, Little Pliosaur, you really shouldn't have done that.
For the Megalodon, surely another one of those prey that the Megalodon avoided as far as possible. Number 2. The Ramphosuchus. Nowadays, it is not...
Can anybody do research on this for me? Because I'm pretty sure Ramphosuchus, one, I'm pretty sure it didn't even live during the same time as Megalodon. And 2, it was a freshwater crocodile. Or gharial, technically, as this guy is. But still. That's ridiculous. I'll keep this going, but I'll keep an eye on the stream chat.
Known with certainty the environment where prehistoric crocodiles existed. Some of them hunt on the sea.
None of these are Ramphasuchus, by the way. Here's an American alligator.
Existed. Some of
Here's Macamosaurus,
them hunt on the sea
Sarcosuchus.
and others on the rivers. But when a crocodile adventured to the sea, it could have encountered face to face with a gigantic megalodon.
They're acting like that can just happen. It's like Ariel, dude. It's not gonna go into the ocean. They aren't made for that. India during the Miocene. Okay, so it probably did coexist with Megalodon, but... I mean, not coexist. Live during the same time, but... They're talking about the ocean versus a river animal. That's not how this works.
That's why, in this place, we have one of the biggest prehistoric crocodiles of the Miocene. Despite that its maximum size was 15 meters long, it soon meant...
Wait, what? Hold it.
Its maximum size was 15 meters long.
15 meters? No. No, dude. I'm just going by what my stream chat is saying, but it definitely wasn't 15 meters. Not a chance. 8 meters seems like it's more accurate. Oh, 15 to 11 meters. But yeah, not 15. You out of your damn mind.
Big trouble for the megalodon if he decided to hunt it, since the Ramphasuchus was a fast swimmer. Combined
I like how it has Ramphasuchus and then Ramphasuchus.
with
Just saying.
powerful jaws and sharp teeth that it used to hunt its prey and, of course, defend itself. Its large snout, full of teeth, allowed him to feed on enormous marine mammals and fish, even bigger than him. Since it was a hunter protected by its scales, another advantage against the megalodon. There is no evidence that this great
Megalodon had one of the most powerful bite forces of any predator. Not a absolute biggest, but it was one of the biggest. I don't think scales would have been much to contest with it.
great crocodile fought against the megalodon. However, the giant of the seas could have difficulties by taking it as a prey, since the Ramphasuchus wasn't going to stay still. Number 1. The Psychophysitter varoli.
I like how this guide doesn't depict Leviathan, which is the only marine animal which I think genuinely can contest the Megalodon in a fight. Mosasaurus? Nah, Mosasaurus can eat his heart out. He doesn't really stand a chance against the Megalodon. Leviathan, though? Kinda. Though I think in the end, the Leviathan kinda lost, considering that while both of them evolved at around the same time, Megalodon long lived after Leviathan.
Physitter varoli, also known as the killer.
Oh, number 0, I forgot.
Miocene mammal.
It's probably
Not
number
only
0.
was it competition for the megalodon, but it really was.
And
More than 15
oh, I was about to
meters
say.
long, and with a totally hostile behavior, it will be a threat for the king of the seas. Studies have shown that this gigantic cachalot would face the megalodon more than once, and it is
How?
no wonder.
How? That's my question. How? How? How do you know this thing actually fought Megalodon?
Cachalots are known for having a powerful bite. It was not a strange thing on a species as monstrous as the Psychophysitter varoli.
Stranger thing? You know, whatever.
Zone 0.
Alright, Leviathan. And he put zone as Zona, so I really don't think his first language is English.
To thinking a rival for the megalodon that was also from the Miocene that surpasses all that it has been previously seen. However, there is one.
Leviathan.
In Zone 0, we have another cachalot, the one that surpasses for much dinosaurs and marine monsters never seen before.
Yep,
We're
Leviathan.
talking about the colossal Leviathan melville. Its name referencing the demon of the seas, Leviathan. It is no wonder, since this cachalot species reached 18 meters long, almost the same size as the megalodon, whereby the giant of the seas in many occasions had to give up part of its territory to the Leviathan melville. As you know, many Miocene cachalots were at some point troublesome for the...
Is he pronouncing cetaceans Cachalot? Is that what he's saying? Because I heard that several times throughout the video, but just sort of ignored it, because it wasn't really that relevant. But, yeah.
Megalodon. However, the Leviathan melville was a completely worthy rival. There is no evidence when these two titans fought at the same time.
Are you sure that a Leviathan could take a hit from a Megalodon? I find more likely to be the other way around, because Leviathan's teeth, they aren't necessarily as made for going through flesh as Megalodon's is. And Megalodon was designed to sneak up on prey from down below and pretty much insta-kill it due to a critical injury to the spine area. whether it be going for the tail fin to permanently disable it, or just hitting the midsection and pretty much killing the entire whale. It's a bit
Megalodon suffered
much.
some defeats in his confrontations record.
Moving on. Let's see, what else do we got? We're not even that far up. It just hit me. We got a lot of videos to go through. Giant prehistoric bugs that would totally ruin your holiday. Let's take a look at this.
Prehistory. Not only it was known by the imposing dinosaurs that ruled the earth.
Alright, good documentary.
But there is also
Shout out to
a
there.
little-known group that was as deadly as dinosaurs. This group is the invertebrates. This invertebrate group, formed by insects, arachnids, and mollusks, spread terror during the prehistory because of their huge size if we compare it with those of our times. Next, we will have a review about those prehistoric monstrous bugs, which were the most dangerous that have ever existed. Number 5. To start with this list, the creature you will see next is a survival expert insect. It will still be alive, even if you cut its head off. This creature is the prehistoric cockroach. A disgusting bug which existed even longer before than dinosaurs, like cockroaches of our time.
I'm pretty sure cockroaches evolved during the Cretaceous, but don't quote me on that. I don't think they existed before the dinosaurs.
This insect had a large head shield with long curved antennae and bent wings. Even though its size was around 9 centimeters, this insect is included in this list because of its amazing resistance to change, due to the fact that it's a prehistoric plague which has survived during millions of years with almost no change at all in its appearance. Although this bug is not as large as other ancient insects we will see below, these creatures can survive even beheading, and this is quite impressive. Number 4. Much smaller than all other creatures on this list, but able of transmitting serious diseases to its victims. Here is the prehistoric flea.
Oh. So essentially a regular flea, but prehistoric.
Had fleas. But yet, those less fortunate were the hairy or feather reptiles. The prehistoric flea could measure up to 2 centimeters in size.
Oh, cockroaches date back to the Carboniferous? I did not know that.
The current flea of only 3 millimeters, these were really big. Its most shocking characteristic is a long siphon-shaped mouth, with which it would perforate its victim's skin, that is to say, that of dinosaurs. Strangely, their legs were not designed for jumping. Due to the climate change experienced by Earth, the flea became severely reduced in size to be able to jump. Such a small bug could not represent any danger by itself, but being in a group could even kill a large dinosaur.
No. It'd make the dinosaur really itchy, but it wouldn't kill a dinosaur. Come on now. Fleas are practically harmless, except for the diseases they transmit.
Number 3. Going further into this list, the next insect you will learn about is capable to catch mice from the air. This predator is
Meganura. Okay.
Like a dragonfly of our times,
Typical
these
shit.
insects were predators
See you, Frostbite.
that fed on other insects and even small amphibians.
That's it?
Having a wingspan of 80 centimeters and 1 meter length, the Meganura is the largest flying insect of all time. Like today's dragonflies, the Meganura had huge compound eyes and powerful jaws, which it used to devour their unfortunate prey. However, there is a big difference in the way they hunt, since, contrary with today's dragonflies that catch their prey with their legs, the Meganura instead used their great jaws. Sometime later, the Meganura was replaced by the variety of dragonflies that we all know today, which are smaller and more agile. Number 2. The following creature causes fear to many of us today due to its terrifying shape. But if we go back millions of years, this creature could even kill you. This is the giant carboniferous spider.
Completely fake. There is no giant carboniferous spider. It's completely made up. Let me explain. It derives from a myth. Back in 2005, they found what they thought was a giant spider called Megarachne, and it was put. I forgot exactly what type of spider they portrayed it as, but it was essentially a giant prehistoric spider. That's what they originally thought it was. But then more fossils came in, and they found out it was actually a land eurypterid. It was not a giant spider at all, and as such, no giant spider exists during the Carboniferous. There is absolutely no evidence for any sort of giant spider at all. It's completely made up, and it's been manifested in pop culture ever since.
For a spider as big in size as a human head. Even some estimates say it could be bigger. This scary spider fed on small animals that lived in the forests during the Carboniferous period. This spider took refuge in burrows, which covered with cobwebs in order to hunt some prey. If this spider would exist today, it could be able to devour a small dog. Even I would firmly believe that it would be able to attack a human being. Fortunately, with the passing of the years, this species became extinct. However, their feared descendants still live with us. Number 1. Millions of years ago, there existed a terrifying arachnid on Earth that you have to thank for their extinction.
Pulmonoscorpius or Brontosaurus?
About 1 meter in size. In this position, you find the Pulmonoscorpius.
Okay.
It is a huge species of an already extinct scorpion. These prehistoric arachnids had the same appearance as today's scorpions.
That's it?
It is widely believed that the Pulmonoscorpius, like all creatures on this list, had such a big size due to a higher atmospheric oxygen concentration in the Carboniferous period.
That's not the only reason. This is a bit of a misconception that people play onto, well, just in general. The Carboniferous, they think that the only reason bugs got big was because how their circulatory systems work, and the increase in oxygen allowed them to increase in size. While that's true, that's not the only reason. Have you ever considered that outside of the big famous ones like Meganeura, Pulmonoscorpius, and Arthropleura, you don't really hear about any other giant insects? That's because, to put it simply, they just occupy niches that other land animals didn't occupy. For the most part, most other bugs were just as big as they are right now, today. There's not really that much of a difference. And the only reason a select few got big is because they decided to select a niche that would allow them to get that large. There's more that goes into it rather than just allowing a buff and size increase.
This concentration was 35%. While today it's only 20%. Like all known scorpions, it is believed that the Pulmonoscorpius was predatory. It is supposed that this scorpion was a morning predator because it had significantly large lateral compound eyes. Possibly, its sting was used to pump poison to its prey. Due to its large size, it is supposed to be that it was capable to hunt small amphibians of those times. Number 0. It is known as the largest land invertebrate of all time. The winner of the most dangerous insect of prehistory is the Arthropleura.
Not an insect. It's a myriapod, or million legs, and yeah. Arthropleura could be a carnivore. It could be. It being a herbivore isn't as absolutely confirmed as people think it is.
Size of 2 to 3 meters, the Arthropleura lived in the humid forests where populations of reptiles, amphibians, and insects used to inhabit. Despite the fact that today it's not clear if they were predators or vegetarians, this 1,000-feet giant had powerful and sharp jaws. It is believed that predators could find it hard to attack them, since they were covered with a shell with short spines. This gigantic arthropod was virtually immune to any existing predator, and as already said, it had powerful jaws and a bulletproof shell. To this day...
You sure bulletproof? I mean, it might have been, but I personally doubt it's bulletproof. There's a lot of... He didn't say 1,000 feet, as in it's 1,000 feet tall. He said 1,000 feet, as in it's a myriapod, which has a shitload of feet. That's what he meant, but still.
This millipede is the largest arthropod ever to have lived on Earth, and thus, the remarkable winner of this list.
Moving on. That was 5 giant prehistoric bugs that totally ruin your holiday. What's next? There's some good stuff coming up, but for now, we're sticking with this. 5 most dangerous prehistoric oceans. Let's see.
The sea is one of the less explored places by man. It is the habitat of a great variety of predators that will be able to wipe out us instantly.
I like how they put a piranha on the ocean. Just saying.
Still, if we compare our ocean with those that existed throughout history, this current ocean would look like a paradise. As oceans have already been present during the
I'm going through most of the videos, guys, so all the things they're recommending will be coming up.
They were home to marine monsters capable of devouring even the dinosaurs themselves. Next, we will take a tour through the most dangerous oceans that have ever existed in history. Number 5. Inhabited by marine mammals, 36 million years old. In this position, we have...
Oh, is he just going to directly copy Chased by Sea Monsters? I think he is.
Eocene Sea. During this age, water is everywhere, and therefore risks increase. Its water are home to a primitive whale known by the name of Basilosaurus.
Yep, copying Chased by Sea Monsters.
It was a dreadful predator, looking like a sea serpent, and also is known as the largest predator of this period. The Eocene Sea is the place where only one predator is the maximum menace you will face. For this reason, it's in the last position.
I mean, that's literally every ecosystem. I don't know why that is. Yeah. Yeah, essentially, Livy. Essentially.
450 million years ago.
Yep, here we go, the Ordovician. This is a blind... Just plain...
Neither
research.
Plants nor terrestrial life have evolved.
Both terrestrial life and plants have evolved in this time. I'll get into that more with Mistaken Truths, but essentially, there was already land plants during the Ordovician. They aren't really what we'd like to refer as plants, aka moss and lichen, but they existed during the Ordovician. And the supposed Ordovician extinction was caused by these very plants, because they were the only things that lived up on the land. And as a result, they went through the standard photosynthesis things that plants do. They take in carbon dioxide, which is very plentiful in the atmosphere, and then put back out oxygen. And all of this oxygen being pumped into the air changed the climate so much that it eventually turned it into what people would like to call a snowball Earth, aka a mega ice age. And that's essentially how they think that's how the Ordovician period, that's how the great mass extinction that happened in that time occurred.
The only living species would be the one found in the sea. However, the sea was a place where you would have to go swimming covered with armor, because the dangers were everywhere. This is the Ordovician Sea. It was considered as the first sea that ever existed. This place...
Ever since the great home run of 4.5 billion years ago, there's always been an ocean on the planet. Always. I don't know. And even if you consider it the first ocean with life on it, you're wrong again. And the first one with complex animals, you're wrong again. Like, come on now.
Places in ocean, plenty of sea scorpions.
I believe when they first found, just to respond to people in the comments, sorry if this is getting annoying if you're on normal YouTube, but the reason Basilosaurus is referred to as a saurus, well, first off, a lot of regular animals are referred to as saurus. And second, I believe they originally thought Basilosaurus was some form of marine reptile when they first found it. It was so serpentine, they didn't really think it was a whale at first. Hence the name.
Creatures capable of cutting your skin with its powerful pliers. Additionally, the Ordovician Sea would be the home of the greatest predator that has existed in history. The Orthicon is a gigantic octopus, positioned at the top of
Cephalopod, yes, but not an octopus. Come on now. Does this look like an octopus to you? No, it does not.
the food chain. If the sea did not kill you in this era, then the Earth would do it, since the small air concentrations in those times would cause you migraine, and finally, death.
Kind of a big jump, don't you think? You're feeling fine, migraine, death. Essentially. No, like, in between at all.
Number 3.
I mean, gamma ray bursts could cause any extinction. That's not exactly the most plausible theory.
The next sea on this list is a site where existing predators living in its waters were as hard as metal. This is the Devonian Sea. This sea existed 360 million years ago, and it was here where the first amphibians would show up. However, the maximum dangers that you would face in this sea are the dreadful armored fish. The Dunkleosteus was the most dangerous of these species. It was a predatory fish with an estimated size of 10 meters. And with
no. Dunkleosteus got up to 6 meters, not exactly 10. That's a bit absurd.
Capable of drilling the hardest prey. To make matters even worse, this sea was inhabited by the iron table shark, considered as one of the first sharks to evolve.
Stethocyanthus is not actually a shark. It belongs to a family of cartilaginous fish that is actually, it's completely extinct now. And it is a completely separate family. But it's now believed to be closely related to ratfish, aka chimeras, than it is to sharks. And there's also the fact that these guys aren't really necessarily a threat. The biggest ones only got a meter long. You could legit just pick them out of the water like any old sports fish. They aren't that big or dangerous at all.
No doubt, this sea was full of dangers, although nothing compared to what comes next. Number 2. 4 million years ago, the sea would be home of one of the greatest sharks ever known to history.
Megalodon.
The Pliocene Sea is home to the terrific giant shark known as Megalodon.
And from here, I can already predict the rest of the list. We have number 1 will be the Jurassic Sea, and number 2 and number 1 will be the Jurassic Sea, and then number 0 will be the Cretaceous. Just watch.
In this sea, dangers were all around. On the shores, young megalodons were on watch. If you went into deeper waters, you could bump upon sharks over 16 meters long and powerful enough.
Okay, 16. I was about to say 60? No. But, okay. He shrunk it down to 16 for this video, which I appreciate. Megalodons did actually get to that size.
To knock down any approaching boat. You could say that the most voracious and terrific species that has ever existed in Earth's history was living in this sea. However, soon after, the megalodon may have been extinguished because of ocean cooling. Number 1.
Jurassic?
The sea
Called
we'll
it.
see next is located in the dinosaur era. With an estimation of 155 million years of age,
Yep, Jurassic.
here is the Jurassic Sea. But why is it dangerous? The Jurassic Sea was inhabited by the most gigantic reptiles that have ever existed in history. The most lethal reptile was the Leupleurodon, a carnivorous reptile with an approximate size of 11 meters.
Does anybody know Eddie? Because he's a big pliosaur nut, and he would get absolutely triggered right now. But, yeah, this guy just... No Leupleurodon got over 6 meters. And even then, out of all pliosaurs, the biggest one, Kronosaurus, only got to 11 meters at max. That's a bit ridiculous. Completely ridiculous.
Their short and small necks let them tear large pieces of meat. Besides the Leupleurodon, the Jurassic Sea was home to the Hybotus shark, a shark with a sort of horn on its head. Zone 0. The winner in this list might...
Are you sure Jurassic should be more dangerous than the Cretaceous? Because in all honesty, the Cretaceous was a complete hellhole. Completely.
be considered as the aquarium of hell because
Yep.
its water...
This whole video was just a copy of Chased by Sea Monsters. Like, for real.
Overcrowded with predators. In this ocean, there is not only a single predator, but a whole bunch of them. This sea is the ocean of the Cretaceous period. Having an age of 75 million years, the Cretaceous Sea is home to deadly sharks, terrifying sea reptiles, and even fish taken out of your worst nightmares. But
He just repeats images from earlier. Like, this was from the Ordovician section. And yes, this anomalous card was from the Ordovician. But not exactly that point in the Ordovician when it was pointing out to. But, yeah.
Without any doubt, the biggest threat of this sea is the mosasaur, a carnivorous lizard.
This is the pliosaur. Hello? Like, I get that the heads are kind of similar, but come on, people. Their body shapes are incredibly different. This right here is for real a pliosaur. It is not a mosasaur. Come on now.
17 meters long, and which imposed control in the waters of the Cretaceous because it was on top of the food chain. Undoubtedly, the Cretaceous Sea is a place infested of killer creatures and therefore a zone with multiple ways to end up devoured.
And we're moving on. Okay. That was a good video. That was a good, really toxic video. Moving on. Next stop, we have... What's next? Alright, we did that. I think I'll skip that one. Deadliest dinosaurs that ever lived in the world. Okay. This was going to be a quicker list, I think.
There have been amazing creatures in the world.
Oh, different narrator.
That might cause a great extinction if they still...
Predator X's Pliosaurus funky, by the way. That's what Predator X is. It no longer goes by that moniker anymore. So, yeah.
With us today.
Mosasaurs didn't get up to 17 meters long either. Like, the biggest mosasaur got up to about... The biggest mosasaurs, which were, I believe, Tylosaurus and Mosasaurus. It's a bit disputed on exactly which one is larger. In terms of length, they're the same, but Mosasaurus was a bit bulkier. But yeah, the biggest mosasaurs got to 12 meters. They didn't get to 17, 18 meters or whatever the hell that a lot of websites like to say. They got up to around 12.
These gigantic creatures are the dinosaurs.
This is so stupid. You can make... I want to make a parody of this guy. I really do.
Through this video, we are going to take a look at 30 of the most dangerous and deadly dinosaurs that have ever lived in the world. Number 30. Bambi Raptor. Its name means the Bambi's thief.
Okay, so a deer about... what am I saying? A raptor that was probably about like 10, 20 pounds could kill me. Sure.
This carnivore predator, called Bambi Raptor, had a hen-like size. The body was all...
There's literally nothing wrong with Best Last News video. There's literally nothing wrong with the guys, so don't even ask for that.
With soft feathers to keep it warm. Surely he could not fly. However, it must have been a fast runner. Its teeth were sharp, and the limbs had long claws, which it used to hunt small mammals with. Number 29. Therizinosaurus. Its name means the scythe reptile. The Therizinosaurus was an herbivore dinosaur found in the Gobi Desert. The scythe reptile takes its name because of its gigantic claws in the front legs. These claws were 80 centimeters in length and are the longest claws ever known from any animal. This species used the claws to reach the tree's branches, but it may have also used them as a way of defense against great predators.
Am I wrong? There was literally nothing wrong with that segment. I'm impressed. This guy actually wasn't... I mean, I'm gonna let things like front legs slide once again, but Yeah, but am I wrong, or was there literally nothing wrong with that segment? Because it was actually done pretty well compared to most of the stuff this guy puts out.
Number 28. Cryolophosaurus.
Hold on.
Its name means the reptile with the icy crest. The most significant feature about this creature was that it had a crest on top of its head. Only the males had it.
I recognize that music.
Courtship
I don't
during
know where it's
mating.
from, though.
The living conditions of this animal were very extreme. Therefore, it is supposed that it also had feathers on its body to protect it against the cold. Its hind legs were very strong and allowed the animal to run at great speed, balancing its weight with the tail.
I just realized this picture. The cryo has feathers.
Number 27.
Is that just me, or?
Balancing its weight.
You can see the feathers right here, and a little bit along the body. There definitely isn't much, but you can clearly see that among the scales down here, there is feathers. Like, you can see it right here, definitely, but you can also see, like, the impressions of the feathers up along here. I never thought of that.
The animal to run at great speed, balancing its weight with the tail.
There's not enough fossils of Cryolophosaurus to say that only males had them. Only males had the crest.
Tail. Number 27. Australopinator.
Okay.
Its name means the southern hunter. The Australopinator was a lightweight predator with a rather large skull full of sharp, knife-like teeth and with serrated edges that it used to cut meat. It had two small but strong forelimbs ending
This is the Papo Allosaurus, by the way.
3 clawed fingers. It is believed that it was a very quick hunter that would hold its prey with both hands and at the same time would strike it with its mouth open in order to cause deep wounds with its teeth.
Alright, that one wasn't bad.
Number 26. Dilophosaurus.
Showing the Jurassic Park one, which is completely bogus. Hooray. And let's see, 6 to 7 meters. Okay, this isn't bad. Wait, what? Hold on. Okay, I'm assuming it means... This is 2.5. I'm assuming it uses the point here. I'm assuming it means to put a point here instead of a comma. But yeah.
The two-crested thief. The Dilophosaurus was also known as the terror of the early Jurassic. The most significant feature of the Dilophosaurus was its double bony crest that it had on top of its skull. The purpose of this crest was to attract females and scare away its enemies. Its knife-like teeth were serrated, but its bite was...
Are you sure its teeth are serrated, though? I've looked at Dilophosaurus teeth. They are not serrated. They're, like, oddly conical shaped, like Spinosaurs and the fish-eating raptors of the late Cretaceous. And I know that people have disputed with me on this, but I'm a genuine believer that Dilophosaurus was a fish-eater. One of the very first fish-eating dinosaurs. So I doubt that it really was a vicious hunter like they're portraying it as here.
Really weak, which prevented it from hunting live prey.
Yeah, see? The jaw structure is a bit too weak for it to hunt down large prey.
So it is possible that this creature was a scavenger.
And a lot of people are also skeptical about being primarily a scavenger because no animal that size could really make a living primarily on scavenging.
It fed on animals that were already dead. Number 25. Majungasaurus. Its name means the reptile of Majunga. The Majungasaurus was a carnivorous predator with arms which had no articulations at all, so it could not move them in any direction. Its head showed many bony protrusions and a sort of horn above the eyes. It is also mentioned that it had a kind of decorative ridge in order to attract females. It is also believed that this creature used to steal prey from other Madagascar's small carnivores.
Alright, typical predator stuff.
It is known that it had cannibalistic tendencies, because marks of teeth had been found on other members of its own species.
Okay, that one wasn't bad.
24. Ceratosaurus.
Okay, Ceratosaurus.
Its name means
8 meters, are you sure? I'm sorry, but I know a lot of people are accepting Ceratosaurus being much larger than 6 meters, as there is evidence of this. I'm still an adamant believer of Ceratosaurus being 6 meters at most, because I've seen spotty evidence at best for Ceratosaurus at 8 meters, like very, very fragmented remains. Bit ridiculous in my opinion.
The horned reptile. The Ceratosaurus was a carnivorous predator whose prominent feature was its nasal horns formed on the nasal bones. The nasal horn and the two skull crests were not used to hunt because they were fairly weak. However, they may have served as an element of visual recognition to communicate to one another. They fed on aquatic prey because recent research confirmed that they lived on the seashores.
No. I'm sorry, but although Ceratosaurus was... Judging from what we know about Ceratosaurus, it would make a lot of sense if it was an animal that was a relatively good swimmer and would hunt along the shore of waterways in order to avoid conflict with things like Allosaurus and Torvosaurus. However, it certainly wasn't aquatic. Just because it was a decent swimmer doesn't mean it was aquatic, or even hunted aquatic prey for that matter. We simply do not know that.
Number 23. Troodon. The Troodon is one of the...
Troodon... Hold on, let me see what date this video was made. Okay, it was before the reclassification of Troodon. Makes sense.
Smallest dinosaurs on this list. And because of its size, this animal was not particularly intimidating. But instead, it had one of the greatest brains of those times. It was known that it had habits of hunting in packs. The more of them, the better.
Not really any evidence of that, but okay. And that was it? Okay.
Number 22.
Bit quick.
Acrocanthosaurus. Its name means the high-spined lizard. It is best known for its high dorsal spines that furrowed its back from the neck to almost the end of its tail. The Acrocanthosaurus had a skull of 1.5 meters in length, and combined with its terrific teeth, this dinosaur was a dreadful weapon to bleed their prey. It could run at a speed of about 20 kilometers per hour. Maybe it was not the fastest of the existing dinosaurs, but its jaws and the ability to hunt were so powerful that it could defeat very large prey.
Alright, that's it. Alright, once again, simple stuff.
Number 21.
This stuff ain't bad.
Daspletosaurus.
Okay.
Its name means
Let's see.
the frightful lizard. It was the greatest predator of its time, and so to speak, the Tyrannosaurus Rex's predecessor. The Daspletosaurus was all covered by a thin layer of plumage.
I like how you can notice they just mirrored the image, because you can see like 9 meters behind.
It protected it from the cold winters. The most imposing in this carnivore was its jaws muscles, which allowed it to possess a lethal bite. The strength of the bite was only comparable to the bite of its closest relatives, such as the Tyrannosaurus or the Tarbosaurus.
Alright, once again, simple
Number
stuff.
20.
Keep going.
Velociraptor. Its name means the...
Uses a Jurassic Park picture, which I'm not gonna go into that entire debate, but yeah, they're about as far as from actual velociraptors as you can get. Come on now.
Thief. It was a very clever animal with a bird-like intelligence, which let it hunt the herbivores in herds. It had a behavior similar to that of the lions, with a male leading a group of female
How do you know this? Oh, first of all,
hunters.
this is a very common misconception. Lions, in lion society, the male is not the leader of the pride. He is simply... He fulfills more of a knight role, and is just generally the respected protector. He is not, in any sense, the actual leader of the pride. I believe that the leader of the pride goes to actually the eldest lioness. Because at the end of the day, the pride of females is the entire pride for all their lives. Meanwhile, the male is switched out every couple of years, you know? But, yeah. But, not only is that preconception of lions wrong, but you can't really tell this from fossils at all.
The raptors possessed an extraordinary sense of sight. Its eyes were always racing forward. These eyes were huge, and even allowed it to see in the middle of the dark.
Alright, just not even show an accurate Velociraptor picture. Okay, that's cool.
Number 19. Deinonychus. Its name means the terrible claw. The Deinonychus had a large sickle-shaped retractile claw, measuring about 12 centimeters in the foot, and helped them hurt and tear their prey. This creature had intelligence above that of other dinosaurs. It could certainly have hunted in a group, and even more, it could have...
I believe this is a Utahraptor, actually. This picture here is a Utahraptor, not of a Deinonychus.
...coordinated with other members of the group for a surprising and lethal attack. Its body was covered with a plumage, which protected it from the inclement cold weather. Number 18. Utahraptor. Its name means the Utah's thief.
7 meters is pushing it, but okay. And we got the Turok Utahraptor, which is just... It's a dinosaur from another planet. Obviously wouldn't exactly represent an actual Utahraptor. Come on now.
There is evidence that the Utahraptor had intelligence enough which might have let it hunt in groups. In addition, investigators revealed that it had a good vision which allowed it to detect not only big prey and estimate where they were, but also could detect smaller prey, like lizards or mammals. Its sense of smell was also very fine, and it could detect prey for several kilometers away. The large arms...
Are you sure about that? Once again, you know, I'm not going to debate on that, because I don't know that much about that.
...combined with its great claws, made the Utahraptor a terrific predator. Number 17. Megaraptor.
Okay.
Its name means the giant thief. The Megaraptor was a carnivorous dinosaur, having gigantic claws as one of its most imposing features. These claws could reach up to 42 centimeters of length. Investigators estimate that this creature must have had strong back legs.
Giving the Megaraptor sickle claws, which it did not have. Megaraptor is not actually a raptor, people. It was a member of a group known as the Megaraptorans, which I believe that they are now classified under the Tyrannosaurid lineage, which also has Tyrannosaurids like T-Rex and Albertosaurus, and Proceratosaurs like Guanlong and Yutyrannus.
Legs, which would allow it to move quickly for a short period of time. Scientists also speculate that the Megaraptor may have adopted a group behavior.
Why?
This would enable the hunting of large-scale dams, and also provide great-scale dams. And
I don't even know what that means, but yeah. Megaraptor. How do you prove that was in a group? I'm pretty sure we only found like one fossil of it. Like, for real.
Also provide greater security for younger members in order to ensure the survival of future populations. Number 16.
Alright, we're on to the last two of this video.
Epentarius. The Epentarius...
Alright, you know what? I don't need to hear what this guy really says, because Epentarius isn't even... I personally pronounce it Epentarius. You know what? That was pretty much the same thing. Australopithecus is a Megaraptoran, yes. Also, Epentarius isn't even its own species. It was just an abnormally large Allosaurus. That was literally the only thing that made it this large. So let's skip it.
Prey.
It's literally just an abnormally large Allosaurus. It's not its own species.
Gorgosaurus. Its name means the dreadful lizard. The Gorgosaurus was considered to be a super predator and the terror of the coasts. Its habitat was located preferably on the seashores. It had a set of more than 50 teeth, which it used to capture a large number of prey and be the most effective predator in its environment.
That's it? Alright, well that was dumb, but hey, we got another half of this to go.
Number 14. Tyrannotitan. Its name means the tyrant titan of Djibouti. The Tyrannotitan could reach a maximum length of 13 meters,
No.
3.6 meters high.
13 meters, no,
weight
too
of
big.
7 tons. With no doubt, it was one of the largest terrestrial predators that ever existed. Based on its incredibly short arms,
Jurassic World the game.
particular skull shape, and its hind limbs, investigators suggested that the Tyrannotitan spent some periods of time in the water.
No. Where even do they get that from? I don't understand. There's literally nothing on that.
Number 13.
Well, if the guy finds this, sue me. He can... No, not sue me. That's ridiculous. But... if he sees me, he could just ask me to take it down. Or... like... take the monetization. He could do whatever. It doesn't really matter to me. This isn't really a big deal to me that his channel gets destroyed. I really do not care that much. However, just... I'm doing this as a message. Not to just straight out send out a movement to destroy his channel. That's not what I want to do. I'm just doing this video to let you guys know, hey, this guy exists. He's pretty bad. Avoid him. It's as simple as that. Simply doing this stream right now has accomplished that goal.
Maposaurus. Its name means the Earth Lizard. The Maposaurus was a carnivore of 12 meters high. It had serrated teeth.
12 meters high. Yeah, sure. And also for Maposaurus, there's a pretty large variation of adult sizes. The smallest ones were about 9 meters. Or 11 meters. 11 meters, actually. 10 to 11 meters. And then the biggest ones were about 13 to 14 meters. So, yeah, I wouldn't exactly put the regular size at 13 meters. That's a bit much.
It could run at great speeds. It was considered a lethal creature because its hunting techniques were performed in groups. Number 12.
For some reason, Xenomorph Queen, you're not thinking me back to that vlogger in ads who's just like, I got this Lamborghini, but you know what's really important? Knowledge. That's essentially what we're doing right now. Like, it's amusing to me.
Allosaurus.
Pretty bad Allosaurus picture, but okay.
Lizard. The Allosaurus was a gigantic but weak dinosaur. Its skull shape generated a very low bite power, considering the size of this animal. The bite was even weaker than that of a lion. The anatomy of this creature shows that it hunted animals no bigger than its own size. The forelimbs had limited movements, so they were not so useful. Probably this animal could hunt larger prey while being in a group, but when it hunted alone, barely could face animals near to its size.
I won't really say that, but okay, I
Number
guess.
11.
I mean, I don't know. Multiple Maposaurus have been found together, which does suggest group behavior. Now, I'm not saying this genuinely means that they hunted together as a group. I think that's a bit more drastic. However, I do honestly think that people that insist that that does not suggest group behavior, I think they honestly need to check again. Because I've seen things where people suggest absolute disasters have occurred, which results in all these animals being grouped together. But I'm just like, what are the odds of that? Fossilization is an extremely rare process. Or it's finding fossils is extremely rare. So what are the odds that we just find like 10 Albertosaurs in a ravine that died altogether because of some giant Noah's Ark style flood? Like, come on now. I don't really think that things like that are really that high of a chance.
Megalosaurus. The Megalosaurus was the first dinosaur to become studied and have a name. Its name means the Great Lizard. The Megalosaurus had a great head.
Great.
Very elongated jaws.
Megalosaurus thanks you.
30 sharp and serrated teeth to tear into its victim's meat. The teeth roots were deep located in the jaws to avoid losing them.
That's it, I'm guessing. Yep.
Number 10. Oxalea.
Oxalea,
It takes the
okay.
name from the African town Oxala. The most remarkable feature of this dinosaur was its crest located in its back. It had a narrow jaw, but instead it possessed very powerful arms. The habitat of this creature was around rivers and lakes, since it
Keep in mind, we literally have nothing of Oxalaya besides a couple of backbone. That's literally it. So we don't really know exactly what this thing even looks like, let alone how big or powerful it was. Most people put it at around 12 meters or so, really.
believe that its basic feeding was based on aquatic animals. Number 9. Albertosaurus. The Albertosaurus was a very fast and carnivorous dinosaur considering its large size. This animal had very long and muscular rear legs that let it develop speeds up to 45 kilometers per hour. It used to ambush large herbivores by means of its camouflage and could attack at fast speed.
I've heard some people theorize that Oxalaya shouldn't even be its own genus, and that it should just be clumped in with Spinosaurus. So it is possible.
Investigations made by experts assure that the Albertosaurus used to hunt in groups and not alone, which is the usual practice in creatures of its size. In fact, they estimate the hunting groups were of 10 to 26 members, which
How?
would be very lethal for the prey.
How do you know that groups are that specifically sized? We don't even know for sure if that they lived in groups to
Number
begin
8.
with. Can't even.
Tiburosaurus. Its name means the alarming lizard.
3 point... Oh, okay. They switched them around on me. Alright, whatever.
The habitat of the Tiburosaurus was a very humid environment with many channels and rivers. It was with no doubt the largest carnivore in the region, and probably the one at the top of the food chain.
Speckles the Tarbosaurus T-Rex. Just saying.
Its teeth made it a very terrific predator. Its teeth were very powerful with different shapes and oriented in
Carnotaurus.
This characteristic made it impossible for
It's
the
so
prey to
bad.
escape once caught by this animal's
It's
jaws.
so bad.
In addition, it had the ability to
Alright,
replace
at least
one
that's a
of its teeth and
Tarbosaurus.
replace it for new ones. Number 7. Tavorosaurus.
Torvosaurus,
Its name
okay.
means the fierce lizard.
It didn't get up to 12 meters. Come on
The
now.
Tavorosaurus was among the largest carnivores of its time. This predator required great volumes of food. However, it seems this was not a major problem because the animal was fully equipped with powerful jaws. Due to the huge amount of food it demanded, possibly besides being a predator, it was also a scavenger, which meant it also fed on other dead animals.
I mean, that's what all predators do, pretty much. Only a select few actually don't go after carrion.
Number 6. Carnotaurus. The Carnotaurus
Carnotaurus.
was a dinosaur which lived
It's
in
one of the
South America.
easiest dinosaurs to pronounce. Come on
It had
now.
a pair of horns similar to those of a bull, and which is believed was used as a ram against other dinosaurs.
Nope.
However, its main weapon was the mouth, which had a special joint permitting the animal to open it wide enough to swallow great prey larger than its skull. The skin was covered with bony plaques, some up to 5 centimeters long, and which allowed it to protect from other carnivores. Number 5. Saurophaganix.
Saurophaganix, okay.
The supreme among the lizards. It is considered as the largest carnivore that ever existed in the Upper Jurassic in North America. One of the most significant features of this dinosaur was a sort of crest at the base of its back. This magnificent dinosaur was without any doubt a dreadful predator, taking into account its large size and also other characteristics.
I know a lot of people in the stream chat are going to be saying that it is just an Allosaurus too, like a Pantherius was. However, my main problem with that was Pantherius is pretty much the same size as Saurophaganix is. So, if they managed to figure out that that was an Allosaurus, why couldn't they figure out Saurophaganix was an Allosaurus? You know, that's my logic.
Huge size, these dinosaurs demanded a gigantic quantity of food. Reason why
Dinosaur
any other
King.
species around them would become devoured. The Saurophaganix possessed keen sense of sight and a certain intelligence level to maneuver and catch their prey. Number 4. Gigantosaurus.
Giganotosaurus,
Its
okay.
name means the giant reptile of the south wind. Gigantosaurus had short upper limbs with 3 fingers ending in curved and sharp claws, which it used to catch its prey.
I like how there's a picture of Giganotosaurus standing over Carnotaurus when the two never actually met at all.
Additionally, it had a long tail that it used to balance while moving. It also had a short and muscular neck, so that in a single and quick jerk, it could tear off anything it could bite. The teeth were rather big. They were around 15 centimeters long, enough to kill its victim.
I like how they just say the most,
Number
like,
3.
generic stuff. Completely.
Carcharodontosaurus.
Okay.
Its name means the dinosaur with...
Surprisingly enough, even with that long-ass complicated name that even a lot of dinosaur people can't pronounce, he somehow pronounced it perfectly. Congratulations. Jesus.
shark teeth. It was a great predator which had an impressive head. Their claws were designed entirely for hunting. The claws of their feet were very powerful, and the hands with short and sharp claws made it impossible for the prey to escape. They were very aggressive animals and did not accept any other predator in their surroundings, as they would consider it as a direct threat to their hierarchical position. There were fights among members of the same species if one of them would dare to enter into another's territory. Their fights were so violent that they could even get killed by each other.
Alright, moving on.
Number 2. Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Alright, T-Rex.
The Tyrannosaurus Rex was a completely functional killing machine. Its weight was between 5 and 8 tons, having a tremendous head and multiple sharp teeth. This creature had a bite with a great destruction power. Their jaws had a size of about 1.4 meters long, with curved and sharp teeth of around 20 centimeters in length. Possibly its bite was one of the most powerful and destructive of the existing dinosaurs, about 4 tons. This characteristic makes him one of the most dreadful predators
Oh god.
that ever existed.
It just hit me. Spinosaurus is gonna be number 1, isn't it?
Number 1. Spinosaurus. The Spinosaurus
16 meters? No. It was 15. 15 meters. It used to be 18 meters, but with the 2014 discovery, they put it down to 15.
Of all known carnivorous dinosaurs that ever existed.
I don't know what could possibly be number 0, though, because they literally took every theropod, pretty much.
Even larger than the Tyrannosaurus Rex and Gigantosaurus. It was 16 meters long and could have a weight up to 8 tons. Its main feature, which distinguished it from other dinosaurs, is that it had a long and narrow skull very similar to that of a crocodile. Based on scientific investigations, they assure the skull was considerably strong, which allowed it to hunt medium-sized prey. It was equipped with a ridge between and slightly in front of the eyes, and the function of it was associated to the mechanics of the skull. This dinosaur...
Now that I think about it, guys, I'm probably not gonna...
was based mostly on large fish.
I'm not gonna, like, keep this up, but... Yeah, there is no number 0 for this, oddly enough. It was just all 30, there was no number 0. So yeah, guys, I think I'm gonna call it soon. I'm just gonna go through all the ones that are obviously cancerous and call it a day. Oh, this one's not top 5.
Over the years, multiple discoveries have been revealed all over the world to surprise even the most skeptical individuals. One of such discoveries was recently disclosed. It is well known that during prehistory, a great deal of deadly predators fiercely attacked any being that dared to cross in their ways. You did not have a safe place on Earth, not even in the water. Predators were everywhere. Just recently, a new monster will add to the countless list of prehistory menaces. This
Let me just skip through it.
is all times.
Hetzegopteryx was known for a
Its
while, wasn't it?
wingspan size reached no more and no less than 10 meters.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna make this quick because I personally grew tired of this guy. Y'all got the message. So I'm just gonna go through all the worst ones.
The Spinosaurus is known as the largest predator that has ever existed on Earth. But Much to your surprise, now you will have the chance to learn that this species was not only represented by the Spinosaurus itself, but instead there is a long list of predators similar to this great creature that terrified in the prehistory.
This just goes to show that they have no idea how taxonomy works, because there's. Or let me repeat this after me, because this is how you learn it in high school and elementary school and all that. There's domain, kingdom, phylum, class, family, or order, family, genus, species. Spinosaurus is a species, while Spinosaurs are a genus, and that's what he's trying to refer to, but he's thinking they're all under the species Spinosaurus, which is incredibly dopey. Incredibly.
Next, we will take number 5. Beginning with this list, we find a dinosaur that lived around the regions of the Albion. What is...
I remember talking about this in the Discord, but he says the regions of the Albion, or the Albion. When the Albion was a prehistoric age, around 115 to 110 million years ago. It was an age. It was a period of time. It wasn't a region in South America, you dope.
Is now known as South America. The dinosaur behaved like a crocodile of today, and ready to hunt any species that could catch as well as fish.
Okay, tons of
This
alligator
dinosaur
pictures.
is the Irritator challengerii. The Irritator is a worthy representative of the genus of Spinosaurus dinosaurs. This huge creature had a length of 9 meters and a height of 3 meters. Same as the Spinosaurus, the Irritator mainly fed on fish, so possibly it lived on the banks and the coasts.